At 81, I pretended I couldn't remember my own daughter's name, just to see who she really was when she thought I was fading. The doctor's office smelled like antiseptic and quiet judgment. You know, the kind, white walls, polite smiles, and conversations that happen just a little too softly when they think you shouldn't hear. "My name is Margaret Hale," I said slowly, staring at the young nurse in front of me. "And I'm sorry, dear. What was your name again?" She smiled kindly. "It's Jenna, Miss Hale." I nodded, pretending to struggle. Pretending. As I wasn't confused. Not even a little. But my daughter Susan sitting in the corner. She leaned forward immediately, her voice filled with something that sounded like concern, but felt like something else. "It's been happening more often," she told the doctor. "She forgets names, places, even what day it is sometimes." I almost smiled. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't worry. This was a setup. You see, I spent 35 years as a legal assistant. I read contracts, studied language, and learned one simple truth. People reveal themselves when they think you don't understand what they're doing. And Susan, she thought I didn't understand anything anymore. It started small. A missed call here. A forgotten visit there. Then suddenly she was too busy to come by, but not too busy to ask questions about my finances. "Mom, do you remember where your bank papers are? Mom, have you thought about simplifying things?" Simplifying. Another heavy word. It always means someone else wants control. So I decided to give her exactly what she expected. I started acting forgetful. Not all the time. Just enough. I misplaced my keys on purpose. I asked the same question twice strategically, and every time I did, Susan watched me differently. Less patience. More calculation. Until one evening she finally said it. "Mom, I think it might be time to consider giving me power of attorney." There it was. The real plan. I looked at her with slightly confused eyes. "Power of what, dear?" Her tone softened instantly. "Too soft. It just means I can help manage things for you. Pay bills, make decisions, keep everything safe." Safe. I nodded slowly like I didn't fully understand. But inside, I understood perfectly. Because power of attorney doesn't just give someone permission. Gives them control. And control in the wrong hands changes everything. 2 weeks later she brought the papers. Neatly organized. Already prepared. She had even highlighted where I needed to sign. "Just here, Mom," she said gently, placing a pen in my hand. My hand trembled slightly. Not from weakness. From precision. Because this moment, I had been preparing for it. "I trust you," I whispered. Her eyes softened, but not with love. With victory. And that's when I signed. But not what she thought. A month passed. Susan became more involved. More present. Suddenly she had time again. Funny how that works. She started managing small things at first, groceries, bills, appointments. Then larger things. Access to accounts. Property discussions. Even conversations about future planning. But what she didn't know was that every move she made was being watched. "Are you sure about this transfer?" the banker asked her one afternoon. Susan smiled confidently. "Yes, I have full authority." She handed over the documents. The banker reviewed them carefully, then paused. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with me." Susan frowned. "Why?" "Just a quick verification." She followed him into a private office. And that's where everything changed. 'Cause sitting inside that office was me. Calm. Composed. Completely aware. Susan froze. Mom." I smiled slightly. "Hello, Susan." The banker closed the door behind her. "What is this?" she asked, her voice tightening. I folded my hands neatly in front of me. "This," I said, "is clarity." She shook her head. "I don't understand." "No," I replied. "You didn't think you needed to." I reached into my purse and placed a document on the table. Not the one she had me sign. The real one. "You see," I continued, "what you asked me to sign wasn't power of attorney." Her face went pale. It was a limited observation agreement. Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. "The real power of attorney," I said calmly, "was never given to you." Susan's voice cracked. "Then what have I been signing? What have I been doing?" I held her gaze. showing me exactly who you are when you think no one is watching. The banker remained silent but attentive, because this wasn't just a family matter anymore. It was a lesson, a legal one, personal one, and a final one. You attempted to transfer funds without actual authority, I said gently. That's not just unethical, Susan. I paused. It's illegal. Tears filled her eyes instantly. I was just trying to help. No, I said, not raising my voice. You were trying to take control. Another silence. This one sharper. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me anymore. And maybe she didn't, because the version of me she expected? Weak, confused, dependent. That woman never existed. I stood slowly, strong, steady, certain. I may forget small things someday, I said quietly. That's life. I stepped closer. But I will never forget how someone made me feel when I trusted them. Susan broke down, her confidence gone, replaced by something real for the first time. Regret. Too late but real. I turned toward the door, then paused. Without looking back, I added one final sentence. The greatest mistake you made. A breath. Calm. Measured. Was thinking I stopped understanding. Just because I stopped speaking. And with that, I walked out. Still 81. Still sharp. And still completely in control of my life.